would have loved to have had more than one fight last year, even though his lone contest produced one of the best scraps of 2016. One that was conjoined twins close against Keith, one-time Thurman. But his focus now has to be on Andre Berto, but he has made it clear he wants to do it 2 times with 1 time.
Yeah, you know, Shawn Porter, his big bugaboo has been the inactivity because he has performed so well. And really, if you think about it, but for a few points here and there on scorecards against Kell Brook and Keith Thurman, he could be the person that people think of as the top welterweight in this division. So he feels like he can get the job done here tonight and fight one more time this year and make it work.
Champion of the world, Andre Berto.
Quintessential crossroads contest for 33-year-old Andre Berto. Like Porter, he has been to the summit. In fact, he's been to the summit of 147, Paulie, on 2 different occasions. But Berto's boxing career has been a longer roller coaster ride than Steel Dragon 2000. He's taken 4 L's. He's avenged his first and most bitter defeat against Victor Ortiz in his last fight. But what's he have to do to ensure that this is not his last fight as a headliner?
Oh, he's got to make sure he comes out with all the goods, all the sharpness, listens to his corner and Virgil Hunter, and of course mentally focused, because Shawn Porter's a guy that's going to pressure him every second of every round. So mentally that can almost break you, especially when you're at that age that Andre Berto is at. You start to really deal with pressure every second, every round, a little bit worse than you used to as a younger fighter when you're hungrier and you're a lion, you know. Andre Berto told you say all the right things when you're this age. Andre Berto saying all the right things. In the ring is when you really find out how badly you want it, because in the ring, there's moments where you will suffer. This fight, there will be moments when Andre Berto will suffer. Will he answer the call? Or will he have those subtle doubts in his mind that say, man, at my age, do I really still want to do this after all the millions I've made? That's the tricky thing about aging in boxing. The hourglass starts to run out on your career. It's up to you to make the proper decisions underneath the pressure and the lights.
His fights never warrant a negative Yelp review. Al, take us through the numbers for this main event, a welterweight title elimination bout.
Well, the physical dimensions of these fighters are very, very similar. The one number that does jump out at you is the age of Andre Berto, how many miles are on the tread of those wheels. One other important number, as we've pointed out in this broadcast, the fact that Porter is coming in off a 10-month layoff, Berto off a 12-month layoff, who will be sharper, especially at the beginning of this fight.
So we are set for the main event, Barclays Center, Brooklyn. And here comes the inimitable voice of Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Barclays Center here in Brooklyn, New York, as Premier Boxing Champions presents the featured bout of the evening, brought to you by DeBella Entertainment and Showtime, sponsored by Corona. This bout is sanctioned by the WBC President Mauricio Suleiman. Supervisor is Mo Noor, along with the New York State Athletic Commission. The interim chairperson is Ndidi Messi. Introducing our 3 judges scoring this main event from ringside, we have from Oneida, New York, Don Ackerman. From Montreal, Quebec, Canada, Pasquale Procopio. And from Brooklyn, New York, Robin Taylor. Introducing our 3rd man to the ring, the referee in charge. He'll be giving instructions after the introductions, Mark Nelson. All right, fans, here we go with the main event of the evening, 12 rounds of boxing in an eliminator for the WBC Welterweight Championship of the World. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, it's showtime! Introducing to you first on my left, fighting out of the red corner, wearing blue trunks with green and yellow trim, fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada by way of Cleveland, Ohio. He weighed in at the welterweight limit of 147 pounds. With 4 world title appearances in his career, his professional record stands at 26 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, with 16 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the WBC number 3 ranked contender and the former IBF welterweight champion of the world, introducing Showtime, Shawn Porter. And his opponent across the ring on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black and white trunks, joining us from his home in Winter Haven, Florida. He weighed in at 146 1/2 pounds. His record stands at 31 wins, 4 losses, with 24 wins coming by way of knockout. A veteran of 9 world title bouts, he is currently ranked the WBC number 4 contender. Please welcome the former IBF, the former WBC welterweight champion of the world, introducing Andre Berto. Once again, our referee in charge now to give instructions is Mark Nelson.
Gentlemen, you received my instructions in the dressing room. You both know exactly what I expect. A good, clean fight. Obey my commands and protect yourself at all times. Touch them up. Good luck to both of you.
Referee Mark Nelson with final instructions. At the age of 33, the battle-hardened Andre Berto knows Father Time could come calling at any time. However, he feels he can still be the cream of the crop, hence his mantra, the harvest is coming. Porter says you're going to see excitement, you're going to see some heavy punches landed, and ultimately you're going to see 2 great warriors duke it out and leave their hearts in the ring. Lights, camera, and what we hope will best describe this welterweight showdown. Action begins with Showtime Shawn Porter and Andre Berto. Porter in the blue, green, and yellow. Berto sports the black and white.
Porter wants to attack carefully and attack smartly. He and his father both talked about the fact that they want to work their way in, but not necessarily stay on the inside.
Yeah, they studied the Floyd Mayweather fight with Andre Berto, and they talked about taking a few notes on that fight. Now, Paulie, do you think that's the right strategy against a guy like Berto?
Here's the thing. I think Porter's best asset is the fact that he pressures and he throws a lot of punches, and he keeps you both mentally and physically occupied every second of every round. But a guy like Berto, who's got a sharp counter uppercut and can punch a little bit, you want to be leery of that at times. But yeah, of course, having said that, you know, Keith Thurman was a big puncher, and Porter attacked him and had a lot of success in that fight. So I think Porter's best asset is to pressure a lot. If he boxes, it may throw Berto off for a round or two, but I think your best bet is not to box Berto. I feel like Berto will be the better boxer.
Well, I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of what is transpiring early here, Al, with, you know, human demolition derby, the boxing version of bumper cars as they collide, and it's not always beautiful. It's sometimes brutal, but it can be effective.
Shawn Porter, former football player in the high school who started fighting at 165 because he's a football player. He's strong on the inside. And you saw him kind of pushing Berto around there.
And Berto comes from a family of fighters. His father, Giselle, competed in the Ultimate Fighting Championship. His brother, Edson, was a mixed martial artist. His sisters, I mean, it's a family of
fights in that family.
Athletes.
Yeah, you don't want to get caught in an alleyway against those guys.
No. And at the dinner table, do not reach for food without knowing it's okay.
Without using your proper etiquette.
A minute left in the opening round. When this fight was announced, it was expected that it would be action-packed. And to go, and Berto with a double jab that caught the attention of Porter.
And that right there is what I'm saying. Once Berto starts getting into a timing rhythm, I'm not sure Porter can outbox him. You know, but I do think Porter can really make Berto uncomfortable with a lot of pressure, as Porter tends to make a lot of other guys uncomfortable with that pressure.
And there was Berto taking a page out of his family's other playbook. There's wrestlers, there's mixed martial artists, and looking for a front guillotine there, Al. Not allowed in boxing.
I was just going to say that. Darn it.
Seconds counting down to the opening round, and that windmill right hand just missed for Porter as he attacks the body in the clinch. So a feeling out process, getting to know you round here in Brooklyn.
For Andre Berto, something that in the keys to victory we saw him do in round number 1, stay off the ropes, and it helped him be effective. 2 punches can get to Shawn Porter. One is the counter left hook, and Berto has a very good one. The other punch that Berto possesses is the uppercut, and we have seen that punch land against Shawn Porter. As for Shawn Porter, I believe he's got to use his jab to get on the inside and push the pace of this fight. It's a power jab. It's a very good punch. We did see him work the body very well at times in round number 1, and we saw him wing a big overhand right at the end of the round. He wants to get that punch in.
The bell in round 2, the Porter camp told us that what probably cost him the incredible fight against Keith Thurman was, well, Porter's defense. He admitted that they've been working on his defense in camp, moving out of the way after throwing punches, and they think it will, it bode them well in this fight against Berto.
And it isn't that Porter fought bad defensively in that fight, but just could improve. You know, Berto normally throws about 10 punches less per round than Porter. They both threw fewer punches than they normally do, but Porter did throw more in round number 1.
Porter changes levels, attacks the body before they clinch.
Oh, this is where Porter's effective. He doesn't accept any clinches. He will physically maul you. Al, you mentioned him being a former football player, also a former high school wrestler, so physically he can push you around and create space in there.
He's doing a great job working the body.
And Berto is starting to show some swelling on that right eye. And he got hit with a hook inside or a headbutt, who knows?
And maybe Berto was trying to motivate himself, but he did tell us he feels he's faster, stronger, more explosive than Porter. He said his experience is going to prove to be the difference in this fight. He also told us that while Porter is a pressure fighter, a lot of it isn't effective pressure, just a lot of mauling, as you alluded to, Paulie.
A moment ago, though, that nice right hand by Porter landed on the inside. It was a very good punch.
And Mauro, you made a point with Berto talking about the explosiveness. A prime Andre Berto was very explosive. I just don't know at what point, how close he is to his prime here. Because Porter is explosive.
Referee's going to have his hands full, literally, telling both fighters to keep it clean. And now Porter has Berto on the ropes, creating enough distance where they're both throwing punches at close quarters.
And this is where Porter is effective. This is where Porter makes you uncomfortable. And it's not just physical, it's also mental.
But you can't discount the heart and the warrior spirit of Andre Berto. Final minute of just the second round. And already fistic fireworks here, as expected. Berto looking to hang on.
I don't know if he's talking to hang on.
And he was complaining.
Yeah, he's looking to hang on because he wants to make the punches stop. That's the thing. They start raining on you. You start wanting to make them stop coming forward. He's cut. Wow, Porter's cut bad.
And there was a clash of heads, as Berto indicated.
Accidental butt.
And the referee has now made it official. Accidental butt. Porter has been cut many times, including in his last fight against Keith Thurman under the left eye, but that is a nasty gash as we head into the home stretch of round 2.
Man, that's a bad one, man. I don't know, man. They might have to stop this thing. And that's also the risk about a Shawn Porter fight. You know, he's always coming in forward. A lot of times he leads with his head. I mean, he's so aggressive.
And he does really at times approach it like he's still on the gridiron.
Yeah. Oh,
and Berto off balance, but he goes down.
5, 6, 7, 8. You good? It's right here.
Berto seems okay, but Porter responding like a warrior to the blood on his face.
And Berto tastes the canvas for the 8th time in his career, frustrated at the turn of events of that round.
And Berto shaking his head on the way back to the corner. Porter will bring that out of you.
Let me have him. B. You rob him. They fought necessary. Look at me. Ain't what you doing. It's going to be moments like that. The way you overcome it is by being that break-like shot, stay focused and blank. He's got a cut eye now. Understand? He's got to fight like that. So in the inside, don't raise your legs up. Keep
Talked about the
everything
overhand right for Shawn Porter, and here's where he gets low. Takes a left hook from Berto, but delivers his own right hand that bounces off the head of Berto and knocks him down. So we saw two elements there. We saw Berto landing the counter left hook, but then we saw Porter landing the right. And you get a look at that cut, which they did a pretty good job on in the corner.
This is round number 3, and things already heating up between Showtime's Shawn Porter and Andre Berto. The carrot dangling in front of them, an opportunity to challenge Keith Thurman for the WBC's green belt.
In the last round, 20 of the landed punches, according to show stats by Porter, were to the body. He really went downstairs very effectively.
Of course, Berto had the green belt at one time, then suffered a first loss against Victor Ortiz in what was the fight of the year that year. Also a savage affair against Robert Guerrero. And what about when he ripped apart his right shoulder in the 4th round of that fight with Jesus Soto Caras and still went to the 12th? So again, you can say many things about Andre Berto, Paulie, and maybe the journey he took, but you cannot question his character and heart.
Oh, absolutely. Like you said, he comes from a family of fighters. You know, they come fighting out of the womb, and that's mental and physical.
Guys.
Of course, he's going to be mentally tested here in this fight because took another butt from Porter. This is what I was talking about earlier in the fight. You've made your millions. You've made a ton of money. You've had a great career if you're Andre Berto. You start to ask yourself when you're in a fight like this, do I really need this? I'm telling you, guys, it's a weird feeling, you know, because mentally this kind of fight, it puts you in places where you're not comfortable.
Fierce exchange. Berto trying to hang on.
Mark Nelson is faced with decisions every 5 seconds in this fight.
Hand by Porter backs Berto up.
Look at Porter. He will not accept the clinch. He will not accept the clinch.
It may not be textbook, but
yes.
Porter shoe shine in the body of Berto. Berto trying to lean in.
Those are big body shots.
And yeah, Porter treating Berto's body like it's filled with candy along the ropes. A minute left in the 3rd.
And whether they are or not, this is what I'm talking about with the mental pressure in here.
Right uppercut on the inside.
Berto can't get him off.
Came back with one.
Don't punch.
We've seen the blood of Shawn Porter, but the guts of both of these warriors, and we're just heading into the tail end of round 3 now.
Berto would love to land either one of those nice left hooks, or there he tries the uppercut. He needs to land something significant to keep Porter off him.
And I think Berto has to go back to the base and start off the jab again.
There's the uppercut.
Berto right uppercut on the inside. Oh, but there's a rabbit punch by Berto.
There's also no space.
Don't rabbit punch.
Berto needs a little bit of space to throw that uppercut. He needs a little bit of space in general. He's got to use his jab more. You see it right here. He's out of distance. He's not using that jab. If you're being out jabbed by Porter, it's a bad sign.
9 minutes have elapsed. Keith Thurman, of course, watching with vested interest. After all, he's the man who unified the titles. The winner will be the mandatory challenger for Thurman's WBC belt. And Errol Spence, undefeated American southpaw, will travel across the pond next month to challenge Kell Brook in Brook's backyard of Sheffield. Many people, including you, Paulie, believe Spence could be the next big thing.
But take a look back at this past round where
And he's bleeding.
we saw the aggressiveness of Porter. Now, that's important. Look, he used the jab to get inside. Then he was able to throw this array of punches. Not everything landing, but the jab got him here where he could rip the hook, throw the body, and then here was Andre Berto with some frustration with a clear rabbit punch as Porter had his head away from the head of Berto, so there was no butt involved.
Round 4, and quickly, Paulie, why are you so high on Errol Spence?
Well, I think, you know, he's got the southpaw stance, great body puncher, solid timing fighter, fundamentally sound. I mean, there's not a lot to not like about Errol Spence. Explosive and fun to watch. Great personality. You know, very marketable fighter.
Porter sticks the jab, and then they grapple, and Berto's frustration.
Come on, just box.
And the referee
Let's
saying,
go.
come on, let's clean it up. But Berto's frustration written all over his face.
It's hard to referee a Shawn Porter fight, you know, and if you go into a fight with Shawn Porter, you can't expect the referee to really help you much.
Good 1-2 as Porter momentarily blinded Berto with the jab. Berto trying to attack the body and just pushing.
It's a misnomer, though, to think that Shawn Porter is just about roughhousing, because you look at him landing all these nice short punches to the body and the head. He's an effective fighter as well. He lands a lot of punches.
A lot of it, though, is at close range, Al.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I'm just saying it's not just about the roughhousing.
It's not, but a lot of the roughhousing creates the openings.
Yes, absolutely.
That's where he's at his most effective.
I agree. But look at those short counter punches when Berto's on the inside. I'm saying he can do it. And you're right. It's created because he gets on the inside like that.
Yeah, you know what it is, Al? You start wanting to get out of there, and you don't know where to go. You're like, man, how do I get this guy off me? I can't even fight him off because he's smothering my own offense. You know, like, look, Berto wants the room for the uppercut here, but where is it?
Yeah.
Porter just takes it away.
Left into the 4th round, and
Watch your head.
dirty boxing at its best. Well, you're seeing as Berto trying to fight off the ropes, clubbing right hands.
There was the uppercut by Berto.
Yeah, finally he was able to get that punch in.
Accidental butt.
Another butt.
Accidental headbutt.
Another accidental butt.
And it's Porter that keeps getting cut.
And Berto wanted to get right back at him. He wanted to take the momentum from landing that uppercut.
Wow, he's cut over both eyes.
Left eye of Shawn Porter beginning to swell badly, and again they threw caution to the wind before sticking to each other like Velcro. Final 60 of the 4th.
They're going to get some work in that corner now with that 2 cuts in Porter's eye, and they're both in a bad spot.
And they're both leaning forward, and even like the angles they're at here, they're just roughhousing.
They're leaning forward, but a lot of the headbutting comes from the Porter side. You know, for all the good things
Lead
Porter
right hand
does.
by Porter, misses with a sweeping left hook.
Berto's cut too.
All right, uppercut by Berto.
Porter's got to be
Porter
careful.
trying to turn him.
Porter's got to be careful with that leaning inside.
Well, Berto's finally found a home for that uppercut in this round.
Accidental butts.
Mark Nelson, the referee, has had easier nights at the office, and yes, Berto cut due to an accidental butt.
Time. Doctor. No, doctor.
As the legendary Jim Ross would say, this is a bowling shoe ugly, Al. I know you worked with him.
Yes, that's a good line.
Final seconds of the 4th, and Porter attacking the body again. Berto leaning in. And we need to get through the 4th round to make it official. Due to all these cuts, due to the accidental butts, and we do.
Now you work it. Listen, the fight is easier than this, okay? Pour some water down there. The fight is easier than this, okay? Much easier if you boxing now. He's wild and tired. Make it frontal, pinpoint, and sharp. Don't pop nothing, okay? And you will have this fight. Get these rounds in the book. How we feeling, champ? Keep winning these rounds. Keep winning these rounds. Keep winning these rounds for me, all right? I need more jabs and feints. Step around this man. I want you on the inside right there with him, okay? Your head should be on either side. Hold on. Head should be on either side. Boxing for me. Boxing for me. Don't cock your punches.
So all the headbutts have been deemed accidental. We are in round 5. And while these two are going at it in a ring, This could very well be contested in a back alley the way things have transpired. Mauro Ranallo, Al Bernstein, Paulie Malignaggi at ringside for Andre Berto, Shawn Porter, welterweight title elimination bout.
You see how Berto just pushed off Berto in disgust? That was like, I'm disgusted with you push.
And I'll tell you, meanwhile, Porter was landing big body shots.
That's the thing, man.
Yeah, he's
Wow.
Oh, nice.
The jabs have been abandoned at close range, and Porter leaning in, but Berto again trying to fight him off. The Cutmen deserving bonuses tonight in this main event.
I'm going to go way back here. This is kind of like Carmen Basilio and Gene Fullmer fighting. That's what it really is.
Fullmer did have a rough,
yes,
dirty style.
In technical.
Yeah, precisely. I mean, that's just what it feels like.
And the question then becomes, guys, is Porter putting the pedal to the metal and putting on the gas because of the cuts?
Well, and of course we would go to the scorecards if they stop this fight because of the cuts on either fighter. So you want to win rounds, obviously. I would say Porter's likely ahead in this fight.
Yeah.
Kind of action you might find at a game reserve with all of this ramming and the bodies colliding with a minute 13 left in the fifth.
Berto trying to start being first here.
Yeah.
Trying to make a concerted effort.
Over the top with the right hand. Under a minute left now in the fifth frame. And you have to imagine. Well,
hey, the plastic surgeons are going to have some work tonight. I know the Crocky's boom, but the blood is off.
Watch it, track it.
Wow.
I have a question.
Robert Wolofsky examining the cut.
Why are they always looking at Berto's cuts but not Porter's? With all due respect, Porter's cut over both eyes, so.
Well, Dr. Avery Brown has checked out Porter's cut, but you're right, Al, not at this time, but
yeah, but I mean, not in the middle of rounds.
No.
Twice in the middle of rounds, Berto has been.
Oh, good counter right hand by Porter.
Be careful.
Man.
See the little spin move Porter made? That's all psychological warfare.
I have such respect for Shawn Porter's aggressiveness.
Yep.
I know it's rough. I know it doesn't always look pretty, but man,
it's not supposed to be pretty, Al. If it's pretty, it's not Porter's fight.
You're right.
This is how he wins.
Yes.
Final 15 seconds of the fifth frame. And it's been a very close encounter of the welterweight kind here in Brooklyn.
You got this. B, listen to me one time. Box him in the middle. Don't load up nothing.
Much of the storyline in this fight now revolves around the cuts of of both of the fighters. And here we see on the inside, Porter's head banging against Andre Berto's, and that created the cut over the left eye of Andre Berto. In round 4, as Berto comes in, we're going to see an elbow.
Oh,
that's
a nice one.
From Shawn Porter that bounces off the left eye of Andre Berto. As the left hand was extended.
Like half jab, half hook, all elbow though.
So it's been rough in there. Not for the faint of heart.
Doctor wants to see you.
And the doctor would like to see you. Doctors are making house calls here.
It's going to become this is going to become a mental battle of attrition.
And they once again renew hostilities here in round number 6, scheduled for 12.
I'll tell you, credit to Porter, guys, because I'll tell you what, he's probably up in the fight. He's got 2 cuts over both eyes. He could easily say, I can't see, and win this fight on the cards. I mean, in my opinion. You know,
and it has been done before.
Yeah. So,
right, and a reminder, because of what Paul is saying, that, you know, if this fight were stopped due to those cuts, they would go to the scorecards.
and of course,
let's bring in our unofficial Showtime Championship Boxing score, Steve Farhood.
Mo, I don't think this has been a very difficult fight to score. You see I have Porter up 49-45. The first round, very little happened. Berto landed the cleaner punches. Otherwise, it's been all Shawn Porter. And as you guys have pointed out, should this fight end now, I think it's pretty clear that he's ahead on all 3 cards.
And by the way, when I mentioned it was a very close encounter, I meant physically as much as anything else. I mean, it's incredible at how close.
But I'll tell you what, it might not be close in the cards, but Berto is still live in there, meaning he still intends to win. There's times in a fight where a fighter's still in there, but he's gotten the winning mentality beaten out of him. I don't see that Andre Berto. I see him still trying to win the fight. I see him still trying to look for shots. Looks for that counter shot.
Look for that counter left, uppercut, and then clipped him with the left.
Those are the 2 punches you have to throw against Shawn Porter. You've got to land the left, and you've got to land the uppercut. Those are important weapons.
A little bit more reactive this round is Berto on the timing shots.
And kudos to both cutmen. We have Hal Chernoff and Showtime Shawn Porter's corner in. That was a slip. Donald Eames in Berto's corner.
Right after Berto landed a very nice uppercut.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. He's starting to see the openings for the uppercut. He's starting to really hone in on it.
Stiff jab by Porter score.
And that's what Porter's got to do on his way in. He's got to continue to jab.
Yeah, double jab, misses with the right.
And throw off the timing. Throw off Berto's ability to time him. That jab will do that.
Final minute of the 6th.
There it is again.
We're seeing Andre Berto move more. That's not normally his stock in trade.
Berto absorbing the combination by Porter, not all of those punches scoring, but still Porter looking to impose his presence on not only Berto, but the judges.
Yeah, you see here, Berto's got to be first on the jab.
Pivot by Porter and works the body effectively along the ropes.
It's a hard fight where timing is going to come into play because Porter's style is so physical and he rushes in on you. He's hard to time. So a lot of times for Berto, he might be better off being first with the jab, leading a little bit.
Porter comfortable and leading with that jab. There, sticks the jab again. Does a good job of avoiding the attack of Berto. So Porter closes out round 6 with another effective round as we head into the second half of this welterweight title elimination bout.
Andre Berto went to the canvas in the last round, not from a knockdown. Ironically, he had just thrown an uppercut and landed it. Look at that excellent uppercut, but got himself off balance and fell down, which was a bad break for him because he just landed a good punch, although Porter did not look like he was hurt by that uppercut. And some gamesmanship by Porter there, and we see it again. The uppercut landed, but Andre Berto had a few other balance issues during that round. In this case, hit the canvas.
Okay? You're doing good. Don't reach for him, okay? He's confused. He's one way. That's all he's been doing. One way. This fight is yours now, big. Right. Get some back here. Excuse me. Come on.
Been a grueling affair as we enter round at number 7. The cuts have been well documented. And Paulie, with both Berto and Porter enjoying the inside fighting. What does it take to be an effective inside fighter?
Well, you know, you want to obviously be physical, but nice
good counter right by Berto.
You want to obviously be physical in there, but in terms of creating the openings, you know, a lot of it is up to your physical presence in there, your ability to step around and step inside. You're also using your arms to create the openings by shifting the arms of the other guy on the inside. There's a lot of things involved, and obviously being a good body puncher.
You know, Paulie made the point that Porter was using his jab effectively in the last round, borne out by the show stat numbers that say he landed 10 of 20 jabs in the last round. And previously he had been averaging 4 of 15 so in his 7 fights. So he is, previous 7 fights, so he is using that punch effectively.
1 minute has elapsed in the 7th. Porter looking to shuffle, trying to Discombobulate Berto, who gets blinded with the jab and gets stuck with another jab. Right uppercut on the inside by Porter, who again peppers the body in the clinch.
And one more thing about that inside fighting, Marlon. No good inside fighter fights totally clean. When you're on the inside that much, you figure out ways to use your elbows, your headbutts, and all that good stuff.
Spoken like a true boxer.
What was it Jesse the Body Ventura said? If you're not cheating, you're not trying. A minute and a half left in the 7th.
That'd be like a pitcher complimenting hitters in baseball. You're not going to do it, are you?
Oh, Berto misses with the right uppercut as Porter targets the head with those sweeping shots. Berto.
This fight being fought more at long range at this moment.
Yep.
Yeah, at this moment at least, until Berto retreats to the ropes, which he hopes he won't. This has been a decent round for Berto.
Yeah, if he consistently creates some space, you know, he'll have room to leverage his shots. You know, Berto needs a little bit of space to get the leverage on those power shots.
Berto timing Porter as Porter leaned in and was caught with a right hand. There's the stiff jab again, delivered by Showtime Shawn Porter. Coming up on 30 seconds left in the 7th. Both exchanging body shots at close range. Oh, nice jab by Porter. And I think that's Berto's way of respecting it.
About the 6 or 7, he's fading, baby. If he could do anything else, he'd be pressing. Look at the corner. Look at the corner. See how they're anxious? Just keep boxing. Run your lean, okay? When you're on the back foot, come under your legs and show him that quick flip jab, okay? Just flick it and step in, okay? He ain't seen the hook yet, but it's coming. You have maintain your focus, all right? I don't want you leaning on the inside right there.
This is round number 8. Showtime Shawn Porter in the blue, green, and yellow. Andre Berto in the black and white. And what a grueling affair it has been thus far, Al Bernstein.
Yeah, I think that last round was very important for Andre Berto. I think personally he probably won it. And other than round 1, it's probably the first round he's won in this fight. And I think very important because it may put him still in the hunt to even get a decision in this fight if he can really close strong. But he's got to win almost every round.
Good combination by Porter, backing Berto along the ropes. And Porter a buzzsaw to the body with the left hook, right uppercut on the inside.
And that's the thing about Porter's physical prowess. He'll force mistakes out of you. You'll be so busy dealing with
Berto trying to hang on, but cornered as Porter pummeling the body.
You see, you're trying to deal with the physical prowess of Porter. That, you know, you're not able to get yourself in proper position.
Bunches. Porter teeing off on Andre Berto.
Berto giving a wink to us over here, so he's got it under control. See if he can react to it.
A barrage of body shots. Making that investment is Shawn Porter here in round number 8. But Berto standing, swinging.
Berto seems relaxed in there, but he's being outworked, and that is the thing with the rounds. It's going to cost you the rounds.
33 years of age. A 2-time welterweight champion who's been in pitched battles with the likes of Robert Guerrero and Victor Ortiz.
Oh, good body shot by Berto there.
And the overhand right of Porter is landing now a lot. Shawn Porter's not a big puncher. He hasn't knocked out welterweights.
And Porter,
but he can throw a lot of punches and land a lot.
The casualty of the subjective scoring system of boxing. An argument could be made that Porter could be undefeated coming into this pivotal fight. Right uppercut on the inside by Berto.
Berto's trying to look for it. He's trying to create space for it. But Porter doesn't give you a lot of space in there.
In this round, look at the show stat numbers. Porter landing 34 of 69 power punches, and so many of those are clean body punches.
And Berto, who trains near San Francisco, Oakland, under Virgil Hunter, there was a power outage in the city. Well, he's having a power outage here in this round when it comes to the power punches. Although, look at him now going to the body. Wow. Old school phone booth fight. Andre Berto, Showtime, Shawn Porter.
I barely remember a round when someone landed as many body punches as Porter is in this round. Amazing.
So when Berto gets some distance, he's able to land some shots. Looking to counter hook there, but you see Porter
Good
takes it right
footwork,
away.
good pivot by Porter.
Porter takes that space right away.
Okay, tell me about that round. Tell me why you did it, so I know. No, I said, why'd you go to the road?
Shawn Porter and Andre Berto, we won't look at this in slow motion. We'll look at it in real time to show you the amount of punches, the fact that they were going at it, and Porter, for the most part, getting the better of these exchanges, whipping body punches and headshots as well. But just the pressure of Shawn Porter, which we've talked about, pretty remarkable. And Berto wanted to try and counter it, just couldn't do it.
Berto rolling with a lot of that, partially blocking, but it's also it's mentally fatiguing because you feel like, yo, this guy's just not going to get off me.
Shawn, right here. Doctor wants to see you.
I hope the doctor's not billing him each time you see it.
What round was we up to? I don't know. I haven't seen the call. I don't know. What corner are you at? This one.
They have battled through 24 minutes.
Is that all?
Action. Yeah, here we are in round number 9. A testament to both of their conditioning as well, Paulie,
Yes.
because Porter anticipated that Berto would be fading in this portion of the fight as he gets caught with the left hand.
Yeah, absolutely.
And oh, the jab. Finding its target for Porter.
Everybody getting work tonight, the fighters.
Oh, and there goes Berto backpedaling.
Headbutt.
And Porter attacking with a reckless abandon.
Yeah, took a headbutt first.
They're calling it a knockdown because of the ropes.
You want to continue? Walk towards me. Walk over here. You want to continue? Come on. Here we go.
Hey, everybody getting work out tonight. The fighters, the ref, the doctors.
And Berto's and Porter's jab. And Andre Berto's visage beginning to resemble what we've seen in prior contests, Al.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, this has been repeated. And he's showing the same gameness and toughness as in other fights, but he has been dominated right now.
Left hook. And Porter continues to pour on the pressure. Clips him with the left hook. Berto up against the ropes again. And that's it. The referee stops the fight. And Showtime Shawn Porter becomes the mandatory challenger for Keith Thurman's WBC title.
And that's the thing about Porter, man. He takes the fight out of you. Like I said earlier in the fight, it's not just a physical thing. It's a mental thing, too. He takes the fight out of you.
Sharing a moment together. Their bond is extremely close, as we've pointed out.
We've seen the doctor again, Mo.
Man, he earned his victory and his paycheck tonight.
A
As he
grueling
dispatches,
fight.
the battle-tested Andre Berto, who takes defeat for the 5th time, but Showtime Shawn Porter He said he wanted to run it back with Keith Thurman. He has now earned the right to do just that.
Now, as we go back to the sequence that would be the beginning of the end of this fight, there was a clash of heads, it appears, that initially stunned Andre Berto, and that's what he was trying to tell the referee. Here we see that's where the banging of the heads together looks like it really stuns Andre Berto, and you can see that that is what started his issue.
And let me tell you, the side of your head is also thinner with the skull, so when you got butted there, you know, you're going to feel that a little bit more.
And so he's in trouble because of the clash of heads. Now, in theory, right there, he could have gotten a moment to recover, but the referee didn't see it as a clash of heads. Then later on, it would rain punches from Shawn Porter, throwing the uppercut and the right hand. Not everything getting in there, but then the left hook, and he's just teeing off on Berto, who's in some trouble, and that was the left hook that sent him against the ropes and created a knockdown. And then the end of the fight, as we take a look from a couple of different angles, Porter cranking up those left hooks. And Porter has a pretty good left hook. We talk about his overhand right, but his left hook is also a very good punch. Continuing to throw it, keeping up the pressure against Andre Berto, and ultimately that's when Mark Nelson would step in and say, we've seen enough, and Andre Berto not really complaining that much about it. He'd been under pressure in this fight consistently. And one more look at it, Paulie, as we see Porter continuing with those left hooks.
Yeah, blood-filled face of Shawn Porter. He's a mind. Continuing to work.
He never stops. He never stops throwing. He never stops pressuring fighters, and this is the result. And if you're going to face Shawn Porter in the ring, this is what you're going to see.
Yep. And he'll physically beat you down, but mentally he'll start to make you doubt yourself. And like I said, when you've been through so many tough fights like Berto has, you start to wonder to yourself, I'm telling you, it's a subtle thing, but you start to tell yourself, man, what am I doing here? You know what I mean? This is just not the kind of fight I want to be in.
So a huge victory for Showtime Shawn Porter. Let's make it official with Jimmy Lennon Jr.